my dear friends from Global Startup City Summit. Let me introduce myself. I'm Pilar Bernabé, Valencia's Councilwoman of Economic Innovation. I would really like to thank you for the chance to present our amazing city and ecosystem in a forum like this. Valencia is a city at the vanguard, a city with 1 million of inhabitants in an ideal location in a Mediterranean, a place where tradition and innovation go together. Nowadays, we have done 500 startups based in our city, a technological institute network, and 2 of the main European public universities. Moreover, we have some of the top Spanish accelerators and incubators and a positive environment to invest. We are convinced the present and the future should be sustainable. We are working in the development of a startup ecosystem in the fight against climate change, the Green Deal, and the generation of opportunities. We are collaborating with the Climate Kick, advising and all the startup ecosystem to be a referent in Europe in a clean tech development and the implementation of climate innovation policies. Thank you very much and welcome to Valencia.
Good morning, everybody. From the Provincial Council of Valencia, we work with the aim of improving the life of citizens. To this end, we developed projects in line with the European Agenda, the 2030 Sustainable Development Goals. Thus, we are developing programs that finance improvements in such important aspects as energy efficiency, urban accessibility, or the global rights to basic service. Our novel biennial investment plan will implement projects worth 144 million euros in a province with 2.5 million inhabitants. Thanks to this momentum, more than 2,000 projects aimed at improving energy efficiency, drinking water network, accessibility, and green areas will be allowed to be implemented. United among administrations will continue to propose solutions to issues such as mobility and sustainable and accessible buildings to promote important change. Thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to participate in this project. Together and creating alliances will change the world.
Thank you for joining us today. My name is Carolina Pascual. I am the Regional Minister of Innovation, Universities, Science and Digital Society from the Regional Government of Valencia. I would like to congratulate you all for the excellent proposal, Startup City Summit, and especially to Valencia Activa, that has brought together such top-level professionals from some of the most representative, innovative ecosystem organizations and entrepreneurs. I strongly agree with the objectives of the summit to fight against climate change through increasing collaboration across Europe, sharing innovation initiatives focused on innovators, youth, women, and new talent. Science and disruptive innovation will be essential allies in achieving the objectives of the European Green Deal. The current conjunction of digital technologies and artificial intelligence, along with other disruptive innovation, place us at an unprecedented moment to carry out the transition to the circular economy. This challenge requires shared solutions. Internal R&D must give way to collaborative platforms, innovation hubs that bring together industry, startups, research centers, and the impulse and support from public authorities. In addition, meetings as Startup City Summit highlights the communication of the successful experiences of startup projects to inspire not only young people to develop their ideas, but also to encourage companies, investors, and society about the huge benefits of innovation. I once again congratulate Valencia Activa for involving the Valencian community and the city of Valencia in the European innovation area and the possibilities of establishing long-term links between innovation actors.
Hello, I am Javier Mateo, Deputy Director of Entrepreneurship in Valencia Activa. Let me briefly explain what Valencia Activa is before we start. Valencia Activa is a public foundation from the Valencia City Council, and we are in charge of the policies of employment, entrepreneurship, digital economy, and training. And after that, we will talk about this new space of Valencia in the new initiative, the Global Startup Cities. As you know, Valencia is participating in this new initiative within the European innovation areas, led by the Commissioner Gabriel, which has been proposed as a synergetic year for achieving the European education areas by the Global Startup Cities initiative. In the next years, the challenge to tackle is to link the bottom-up game changers implementation with a top-down approach to design a coherent European Union. We have to support the entrepreneurs and innovators as our global leaders in the future of the European Union after the pandemic. The European Innovation Area is a geo-economic movement to support global European entrepreneurs and innovators with the largest public-private consortium impulse by local innovation ecosystems from, among others, cities, villages, and remote areas. Within this great initiative, Valencia is referred as a clean tech startup city within the climate innovation area. The goal of this Climate I area is to be one diverse and biggest environment for real testing of breakthrough startups and SMEs with out-of-the-box solutions focused on climate mitigation, circular economy, smart mobility, and zero pollution at the global European level. With this I area, it is a point of attraction for new economic opportunities for each startup city and new ecosystem part of the climate area. The I area will give a new global dimension, and it will reinforce the European visibility in the following years with the Pioneer I area. Attraction of new economic opportunities for the climate I area with annual global EU open calls for startups and SMEs with a breakthrough climate products and services. One of the targets is the creation of one diverse and biggest space for real testing in Europe and globally for innovative products and services. We want to be integrated with each startup city as a unique added value based on the geography and diverse physical space for real testing of breakthrough startups and SMEs to interconnect opportunities between out-of-the-box startups with ecosystem and vice versa. In Valencia, we have a great potential within this initiative, thanks to the qualities that we have in our environment today. On the one hand, an important geographical position as a communication point within the Mediterranean and in a meeting point between the big cities of Spain. Those who know Valencia and know the great gastronomy of our city, the exceptional weather, the high quality of our life, accompanied by a favorable environment to develop professional and vital projects. But beyond of the fact that we will live well, we have great factories of talent, the most important thing for the future of the economy. In the city of Valencia, we have two of the main European public universities, the University of Valencia and the Polytechnic University of Valencia. A source of talent of all kinds, especially in STEM, which nurtures a great entrepreneurial ecosystem with more than 500 startups and scale-ups in our city. We have a public service and community called Vita Emprende, where the entrepreneurs can connect with other people from the ecosystem, investors, colleagues, and the talent. These startups have a network of first-class public and private accelerators and incubators like Lanzadera, Insomnia, GoHub, or Socialness that are making bigger the name of Valencia on the international map. We have a large network of technological institutes and research centers that generate knowledge that can be transferred to the new innovative solutions which make our future more sustainable. An important factor is the great number and quality of the private sector associations, which represents and vertebrate the sector and collaborates from common targets with the public administration. In Valencia, we firmly believe in public-private collaboration, and proof of this is this initiative in which we are jointly promoting it. Furthermore, public institutions are aligned in the promotion of a change in the production model. We aim to be more sustainable with a committed society and an intelligent economy that leaves no one behind. Proof of this is an initiative that began in 2018 and which is being developed at this moment. All the social and economic agents in the city have been working on a common strategy, on a common path. This strategy is Valencia Tech City. But what is Valencia Tech City? Valencia Tech City is a public-private inclusive and open initiative with national and international scope, which seeks to position the Valencian technology and innovation sector as the strategic axis of the new city project. It comprises all those who wish to join the Valencia of the future: public entities, universities, and training centers, associations, social agents, investors, startups, SMEs, and multinationals. The city of Valencia has the challenge of becoming a vanguard city with a powerful and sustainable economic sector based on technology, innovation, and digitalization, which will have an impact on the society and its well-being. Valencia Tech City is a pioneering project that can connect the city's entire technological and innovation ecosystem to create jobs and growth. A new Valencia full of opportunities, which welcome all those willing to imagine the future today. This platform will allow the development of a new smart economy model in Valencia, which will put the city on the map for the creation of knowledge, talent, and quality employment, as well as for the development of technology and innovation. Its main target is to make Valencia attract international talent, promote investment, and the creation of new projects. We work for a city where people can find opportunities that they need to develop their ideas. We are convinced that the present and the future should be sustainable. We are working in the development of a startup ecosystem in the fight against climate change, the development of the Green Deal, and the generation of opportunities. We are collaborating with entities like Climate Kick, Avaesen, and all the startup ecosystem to be a referent in Europe in clean tech and the implementation of climate innovation policies. This is where we start our journey as a global startup city, in which Valencia is the reference in clean tech. But why are we a startup city in climate? My colleague, Bianca Dragomir, CEO of Avaesen, will tell us more about the trajectory of climate and Green Deal in entrepreneurship in Valencia.
Thank you very much, Javier. It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you very much for having me. I'm going to introduce you to the cluster that I'm leading, which is a clean tech cluster based in the Valencian region that gathers about 300 public and private stakeholders in the clean tech industry, gathering stakeholders from renewable energy to circular economy and to smart cities. Out of these, 160 are businesses that gather 3 billion euros of annual turnover and about 6,000 green jobs based in Valencian region. What we do in our cluster, which is a private non-profit cluster, is expanding the industry and growing the industry, bringing our programs, bringing different stakeholders from research centers, businesses, investors, business angels, the city councils, and the regional government to bring innovation and to grow the clean tech industry. We mainly are focused on entrepreneurship, innovation programs, but also on business scaling up in all the subsectors of the clean tech industry. And because nowadays, we speak a lot about crisis, about recovery, we speak a lot about resilience. This is a story of a crisis-proof cluster, Because in the previous crisis, in the financial crisis, this sector has been hard hit. Just some data points. Spain had recently put a tax on the sun, which meant that anybody who wanted to build a renewable energy installation had to pay for the total cost of it, plus a tax on the energy that it generated. And that literally killed the industry at that time. The number of SMEs at our cluster dropped from 235 to less than 100 in less than a year. And on top of that, the regional government had terminated the subsidies for the cluster organizations, and therefore the cluster was at crossroads. So in a public-private approach, we put in place four-step turnaround plan, which meant that first, we turned the organization into a self-sustained business generator for the clean tech industry. And we expanded from a network of renewable energy businesses to building an entire flourishing innovation ecosystem around the clean tech industry. Nowadays, 90% of the members in our cluster acknowledge the organization as a business generator. And that is mainly because we managed to collectively develop a model in which people collaborate, in which people do business and accelerate innovation to market in a public and private partnership. Second, we placed entrepreneurship at the core of the cluster and of the sector. And we partnered with European programs like Climate Kick, for example, and we launched the first clean tech accelerator in Spain from Valencia in a joint collaboration with the city of Valencia, with several other smaller cities, with the regional government, but also with the business angels community and with bigger corporates in our cluster to actually grow these startups to market. And in this effort, we managed to grow more than 150 startups only in the Spanish market, and to establish the Valencia as an eco-entrepreneurship hub in the Southern Europe. We also, based on this successful formula of public-private collaboration, we expanded, in partnership with Climate Kick again, we expanded the Clean Tech Accelerator in all Europe, in 12 European regions. And in this effort, we managed to grow to market more than 275 startups in only 4 years. The third step was branching out with cross-sectorial opportunities. And in this sense, we partnered with different other industrial sectors and started to work on a tailored way with them, but also with the cities that offered the opportunity to accelerate new technologies to market and to offer a market that at that time was very limited due to the unfavorable national regulation. And in this effort, after 3 years, we managed to incorporate in our cluster more than 70 city governments. We work with mayors and with high-level decision makers at cities to drive transitions into action and to actually develop these roadmaps, their roadmaps for energy transition and for clean tech deployment. And fourth, we actually managed to fix the domestic market that was penalized for renewable energies at that time by working with the regional government and managing to obtain a partial compensation of the tax on sun for households and SMEs, but also to unlock markets for wind power SMEs that are now being transformed into many self-consumption hubs in the region. But how do we weather the storm of this crisis, this unprecedented COVID crisis that has also hit hard many sectors, as we know? Well, different than the previous crisis, actually this time we have incentives. There's the European Green Deal, which is our lighthouse in this journey, not only for the clean tech sector, for the clean tech clusters, but also for all the other industries and for city, region, governments, and for all the stakeholders involved. And here again, because we had developed a repeatable, sustainable, scalable business cluster model, we are now in this framework that is very favorable for the clean tech industry, and this is because everything is nowadays about the green recovery, and there will be a lot of funding attached, but also a big mission that in the European Green Deal, we will create 1 million green jobs by 2030 in Europe. Now, this is the opportunity for us to scale up our impact even further. We had managed to create a business model that was successful, and we even expanded it across Europe, but now we scale up our impact even more. Let me share with you how we do that. Well, first, already during the lockdown this year, we managed to work with 3 different regional ministries from 3 different political parties in the region to develop a green law that will generate an investment in the clean tech industry in the region for more than 5 billion euros in the next 5 years. But also this will create more than 3,500 new green jobs. Second, we are working on large-scale projects and on green investment schemes also for the small and medium-sized renewable energies installation in the region to drive this green transition. And third, we also work on green missions. We dare to be bold and dare to be multi-collaborative, partnering shamelessly with different stakeholders in the region. And again, in a public-private perspective, we develop green missions. For example, by 2025, all public schools in Valencia to integrate renewable energies and smart grids. And we have developed a few months ago the Green Innovators Hub, based on our experience and our positioning in Valencia of working with entrepreneurs, startups, and developing this eco-entrepreneurship hub in the southern Europe. We are taking this journey further to the next level, and we've created the Green Innovators Hub that actually is creating a connection, a meaningful connection between entrepreneurs, startups, and SMEs in our sector, and we connect them with bigger corporates, with venture capitalists, with corporate venture capitalists, and with cities, making use of the critical mass of mayors that are now committed with the green transition, of the fact that they are already working with us for the past years, and of the critical mass of green entrepreneurs that we have generated in the past year. This is our Green Innovation Hub. You can find more information on greeninnovators.es. And this is what brought us here, actually, because already in 2014, we had launched the business idea, the business idea competition at worldwide level. We coordinate the Spanish competition every year since then from Valencia, and everybody, all entrepreneurs from the entire country are actually coming to Valencia to connect with mentors and with coaches, to compete, to present, to accelerate their idea to market by accessing our ecosystem. This is the accelerator that we launched also in 2014. And these are just a few startups, a few examples of startups that have actually arrived to the market successfully. For example, Navlantis with Z-Box container, which is revolutionizing the maritime transport of goods, and now is placing its foldable container in the port of Valencia. This is how startups get connected to key players in the sector and in the local ecosystem. This is Yacit. This is a startup that actually developed an organic product that is able to dissolve the plastic. This is Matter, a startup that has developed technology that is able to create furniture out of waste from the wine industry. And this is Aerox, a very flourishing startup that actually started as an idea, entered in our business idea competition, and actually now has scaled up its product exponentially by connecting with bigger corporates in our cluster. Aerox is developing a coating system for the wind power blades that is able to increase the efficiency of the blade in 40% and reduce the maintenance costs in 30%. Now they've connected to Vestas, they've raised investment, several rounds, and they also received a few millions of euros from the SME instrument. So they are accelerating this product to market big time. Also, this is another company that has managed to develop technology that is reusing the wind power turbines that, as you know, we need to find solutions for reusing these materials in the circular economy. And everything was possible because we've connected very closely and we've led this together with public stakeholders like the city of Valencia that offered the city as a pilot context where actually startups and innovators were able to actually get this to market. Get their innovations to market. And it was also possible because within the framework of this cluster, we had worked hand by hand with many mayors that actually we put them in the driver's seat of the green transition. You can find more information about our thinksmartcity.eu project on this platform, and you can see how we can shape transitions into practice by collaborating, by bringing businesses to work on specific challenges of the cities. What we do is to nail the pain of the cities, to bring the solutions that we have available to market. If we don't have these solutions, we bring startups, we connect them with R&D centers and with corporates, and we generate these solutions. This is an opportunity for innovation. And then we even bring funders, public and private funders, and funding connecting to this, blending these challenges and these solutions to actually make this a reality. So I think that this is a good moment to speak about the moment the transformational moment that we are living in the framework of the COVID-19, which is a call for a new leadership, a call for a new collaborative leadership that can come bottom up from the business sector, but cannot be done in an exponential impact with scalability without a different type of stakeholders co-developing, co-designing, and working together to actually make this transition happen. And we have a big opportunity now with the green recovery. We have two important challenges, which is the twin transitions, which are the twin transitions, the green transition and the digital transition that go together, go hand in hand as well. So we are best placed here in Valencia to drive this journey, to have an open, to continue our multi-collaborative leadership, even polycentric leadership. And that's a model that also has inspired other regions, other clusters in Europe. For example, in 2016, the European Commission awarded our cluster for the leadership that it generated and for the innovation, for the flourishing ecosystem that it generated here in Valencia, and awarded us with the European Cluster Manager of the Year award. And since then, we've been ambassadors for over 2,500 clusters across the entire Europe, and we've spread this inspiration towards them, and not only Europe, even in Australia or other continents. Because the era that we live now is the era of this new leadership. We need to build from within, and we need to integrate a multiple voice in order to make transition happen. We need to propose now more than ever large-scale projects, strategic projects that integrate multiple stakeholders and are able to provide impact on the market. And we definitely need to enhance a conscious leadership of change. We need leaders of change to drive this transition. And the leadership is not of one organization or the other, it's a collective leadership. And that's how we make transition happen. This is the formula that we developed in Valencia. We are convinced that there's no room for business or clusters as usual, and that was the way where we took these challenges forward. We are now working very actively on the Green Innovators Hub, especially together with the city of Valencia, because now we are at that moment in which big corporates set up their green challenges, and we will bring on a very tailored way, on a very specific way, the startups and the innovators, the entrepreneurs here to Valencia to actually put their projects, their pilots into market. And in this way, I think that there's a clear leadership. We, in this ecosystem, we make great leadership, our business as usual. And I think that we are here to say and to acknowledge that based on these results that actually by working together, the clean tech industry and the city of Valencia is a match made in heaven.
Okay, so good morning. Thank you so much to Global Startup City Summit. It's with me, Lucia Calabria from Valencia Port Foundation. I'm Francis Pons from Insomnia, it's an open innovation hub, and we are going to talk about sustainability and ports.
Good morning, Francesc. Thank you, and thank you for inviting us, being here. I'm working at the Innovation Center at the Port of Valencia, and I'm going to tell today some of the climate action initiatives that we have at the port. So the Fundación Valencia Port is the knowledge and innovation center for the Port of Valencia. We are developing projects to increase competitiveness at the Port of Valencia, and we are based in several knowledge areas such as digital transformation, port and logistics, security and safety, and also very focused lately in sustainability and energy transition. Just to give a little overview about the Port of Valencia, for you to know that the Port of Valencia is moving nowadays more than 80 million tons, and that is translated to more than 5 million containers. The Port of Valencia is specialized in containers, but also the Port Authority of Valencia, which is the body that manages these three, is managing 3 ports, the Port of Sagunto, Valencia, and Gandia. In the world ranking, the Port of Valencia is the 27th in the top world container. Then at European level, it's the 5th. And in Spain is the first port in containers and also in the Mediterranean. Well, as it's a big port, it is very obvious that the gross added value and the impact on the city is very important. In fact, more than 2% of the gross added value at the Valencia region comes from the port, and also there are more than 38,000 jobs created at the port area and the surroundings. But ports are not only an industry for figures. Ports are also keen on contributing to global and regional challenges, such as climate action, and contributing to European long-term vision to get a carbon neutral economy, and also contributing to United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. In this regard, the objective for 2030 is to achieve the net zero emissions at the Port of Valencia, And this is a project that we are developing not only within the port, but also with the key agents, such as the terminals working at the port, the transport by truck, transport by train agents, but also in collaboration with citizens and with society. So this project has been running since 2 years. It's called Deep Demonstration and has been co-financed by EIT Climate Kick. We have been working with the Port of Piraeus and Cyprus Ship Registry, and we have been collaborating also with all our port agents in order to set the path for net zero emissions in 2030. But this is not the starting point. As the cargo has increased at the Port of Valencia, also the innovation projects have been multiplying until now. And I am going to explain some of the projects that we are working in order to achieve our goal. Some of the successful projects today are related to real-time emission measurements. For example, the Green Seaport project is a recent project that will pilot the use of sensors, big data platforms, and artificial intelligence modeling at the Port of Valencia in order to implement a port environmental platform that will receive data in real time and also from the sensor networking, but also from the port existing systems. We have also developed adaptation machinery and ships projects. For example, you can see we have made some studies pilots as well, and also many rollout projects. For example, the Green Cranes project that adapted general machinery to electricity from diesel to electricity or to LNG. The aim of this retrofitting of machinery was to decrease the carbon footprint, and the results were very, very high, up to 80%. This retrofitting for this RTG, this machinery in the port, it got the 45 decrease in fuel and emissions. So this is a big achievement. And here you can see in this graphic the evolution of the transformation in port machinery from diesel to LNG to electricity, and today we are working on hydrogen. We are developing the H2 Ports project in which we will validate 2 innovative solutions, retrofitting machinery of the port to hydrogen fuel, and also will provide a hydrogen mobile supply station designed for this project. We have also developed some projects of adaptation of ships to new fuels. For example, in the project Game for Moss, there were some retrofitting from ships from diesel to LNG, and also in the Game for Ship Innovation project. And we have also developed sustainable mobility projects. For example, the project Sunport, that is dedicated to Mediterranean cities with ports, and they are updating their urban mobility plans. And because one of the objectives of Valencia Port is becoming energy self-sufficient in 2030, we are developing several projects related to renewable energies. For example, the development of wind power stations, and also we are nowadays developing photovoltaic plants in the 3 ports. This big project of building a new electric substation is being started now. It's very important in order to be able to provide the electricity, the enough electricity when the port will not depend anymore on fossil fuels. And it's very key for ports to have an onshore power supply station for the ships that want to connect when they dock at the port, in order to decrease their impact on the citizens. So to sum up, the future projects at the Port of Valencia in terms of sustainability is, first of all, becoming self-sufficient in energy and based on renewables, using clean fuels such as biofuels, hydrogen, etc., the electrification of terminal machinery, but also some other initiatives such as CO2 capture, storage, and use of this energy. Apart from the sustainability projects, we have also a roadmap for innovation in general. And so during 2018, we were developing with our port cluster this innovation plan. We gathered the main innovation trends, and we prioritize them in order to arrive to our roadmap. The roadmap is from 2020 to 2040, and it's gathering all the new technologies that we think should be at the port. But this must be constantly renewed, because technology is evolving day by day. So this is, let's say, a living innovation plan. One of the tools that we have in order to arrive to our objective 2030 is attracting new talent. And how do we do that? Working with startups. For this, we have created Superlab Ports. It's a co-creation hub that gathers different agents, such as startups, corporates, government, universities, and other actors that pursue the same objective, which is making the Port of Valencia become zero net emissions in 2030. Superlab Ports was launched in 2019. It's a year now since we have opened, and it's based on demand-led attraction, community awareness raising, and it follows the ambition of being a global initiative. With this initiative, the Port of Valencia wants to become a reference in the movement towards decarbonization in the port sector, and that is why organizations like Climate Kick are supporting this initiative. In fact, for 2020, we have become organizing partners at the Climate Kick Accelerator. We have launched 2 challenges for startups, and we are co-financing 3 startups last year. So during this year of activity, Superlab Ports has become a reference in import acceleration. This year, we have provided mentors in the port field, and we are working with the startups in order to develop pilots at the Port of Valencia. So this is a big success for us, according to Open Innovation Scheme. Thank you very much.
So thank you so much, Lucia. Let me tell you about what is Insomnia. Insomnia is an open innovation hub. It's placed in Valencia, but also we have an office in Madrid. We are connected to other 20 communities or ecosystems around the world, international ecosystems. We are an open innovation hub, and our main goal is trying to help big companies or big corporates and governments to innovate by the hand of the startups. So our main goal is trying to help them to innovate in a new model of open innovation. 1 year ago, Insomnia was designed in a joint venture with KPMG to launch the first incubator and accelerator, public incubator accelerator, to develop the innovation in the port system in Spain. So at the moment we were closed the first convocatory. We have received about 500 of startups and projects and ideas, international most of them. And at the moment we are trying to select and evaluate the best project to be invested and financed. We can say that this project is supported by a fund of 20 million euros, and we have about 4 years and 5 convocatories to develop this big program, public program. And what are the most important, the main verticals, technologies or needs of the ports and the startups? Like energies, efficiency energies, renewable energies, infrastructures, mobility, connecting into the port or connecting the port with the city or logistics, waste management, quality of air and quality of water. And we have received proposal in some technologies that they have a high impact in the sustainability, like blockchain, cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, 5G, IoT, Internet of Things, or 3D print. So we have received proposals to try to develop the innovation in the ports public system in Spain. So we have a jointly collaboration with the port of Valencia. We have a place in Valencia, and this is the main port in the Mediterranean. So we have received a lot of proposals to try to develop a proof of concept in the port of Valencia. So we are very jointly working with the Valencia Port Foundation. So we are very close to them. We join and we share some projects, ecosystem, startups, and a new model. I can say too that in this program we have received about 5 or 6 entrepreneurship projects. So it's interesting to try to develop the intern knowledge. So Lucia, I can say you, we are very proud to join you and so to share projects, because Valencia Port Foundation is going to be the most important partner in Valencia to develop the proof of concept of this program, and this is the facilitator, and this is going to support most of the pilots we have received.
Yes, we are very happy for this initiative, and also because it's Insomnia who is developing it. We have been collaborating, for some years now, as we are very close to each other and part of the same ecosystem at the end. So since we began to collaborate together doing this blockchain hackathon, if you remember, now this is a very good way to start working very closely. The port is really willing to develop these new pilots and to improve efficiency and also sustainability at the port by applying these pilots from startups. And having you as a partner is a very good news for us, and I'm very happy to work with you.
So thank you so much. We are partners, and we are going to develop new projects together.
Sure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Mar Prieto, and I am Entrepreneurship Technician at Pit Emprende, and I will be the moderator of the discussion table, which title is Climate Change, What is Happening and What Needs to be Done. We will have the participation of Samiroko Dayar in representation of Center of Environmental Studies of the Mediterranean, Marta Esteve, Communication Manager of Climate Kit, and Salomé Reillo, Project Manager of ABAECEN, Valencian Association of Companies in the Sector of the Energy. Let's go with the third question. Samiro, what is climate change or how will define it?
Thank you for your question. Pleased to be here. So I would just start with a general definition of what climate change is for scientists, and we broadly define this climate change as any change in climate over time, whether due to natural variability or as a result of human activity. So the question is, the world has been getting warmer. So scientists, we believe that we are adding to the natural greenhouse effect with gases released from industry and from agriculture. This is trapping more energy, and therefore temperatures are increasing.
I would go further because we are in a climate emergency. We are addressing a global complex problem that all the society are involved. So this means not only implication in environmental issues, we are also to see the economical dimension and of all the social dimension, because all the citizens, all the individuals are living here in the planet. So we should consider that dimension, the social and economical dimension.
Okay, so Salome, could you tell us what kind of entities are the largest emitters or greenhouse gases, and what countries?
Okay, so cities are one of the factors that contribute most to climate change. According to the United Nations, cities consume 78% of the world's energy and produce more than 60% of greenhouse emissions. However, they cover less than 2% of the Earth's surface. For this reason, cities are the right settings to act as laboratories of innovation.
I could add another figure about cities, because in the studies about 2015, citizens were the 75% of the population in the world, in the planet. So it is foreseen as a planet that in 2050 we will be 80% of the population living in cities. So we should consider all around climate change, how to approach, how to address all the issues, all the problems that we have created as a society.
Okay, so we should work with cities. Yeah. But the primary sources of greenhouse gas emissions in the United States, for example, are transportation, with almost 30% of the greenhouse gas emissions, electricity production, industry, commercial and residential, agriculture, and land use and forestry.
But there is indeed an aspect that we should not forget, and it's very, very important, is that just 100 companies have been the source of more than 70% of the world's greenhouse gas emissions since the 1988s.
And well, the countries? Do you have data about the countries, Samira?
I mean, there is no, I don't have any data about which countries are emitting, let's say, from these sources more, but definitely United States is one of them. China, of course, is one of them. But with this question, maybe we can go to the next question. That would be maybe you can introduce which countries are really emitting more.
I think it's a point that a ranking that is changing along the last few years, because sometimes China is the first one, USA is the second, India is coming into this ranking, but there's no doubt that Europe, that we are in Europe, we are in those top 10 countries or continents that we have to address climate change.
That's exactly the question. Indeed, the United Nations is leading a political effort to stabilize these greenhouse gas emissions, because it's known that China is at the moment the leading country emitting more CO2, and this is followed by the United States and definitely the member states of the European.
But we should think that this is a global complex problem. It's not, well, it's about to focus in those countries that we have in that ranking, because they should make the bigger efforts than the rest of the countries in the planet. But above all in all, we know that with those activities that we are doing in order to stop or to mitigate or to facing climate change, it's not enough. We should go 6 times faster than we are doing now in order to make something in favor to stop climate change, because otherwise we cannot achieve those objectives that we have rate, so we have set out that in 2030 we will be 50% decrease of our emissions, and the next more ambitious goal that we have set out as to be neutral in net zero emissions in 2050. So we can address many aspects to think about. We are it's a global problem that we should face in collaboration of the countries with a common policy, and to look for those entities or those kinds of industries and sectors that we should engage in order to work more efficiently. What do you think?
And then, nowadays, what is happening and what consequences is this having?
So let's start from a global point of view. So from the scientific point of view, what we know is that definitely the world has increased its temperature in about 1 degree up to now. We know that the 20 warmest years on record all occur in the last 22 years. And indeed, from the 2015 to the 2018, it has been the warmest years at all. So there are other situations like the increased sea level, the increased temperature of the sea, the impact on land, the impact on animals, on agriculture, etc. So there is another aspect that we are living very frequently here in Valencia, indeed, that is the impact of extreme weather. So we know that intensity and frequency of this kind of extreme weather is increasing in the context of climate change. So all in all, this will have a strong effect on society. So we could have problems with the food, we could have problems with the water, and this will reduce our ability to work efficiently as a society. So indeed, there will be also more deaths because of these kind of extreme situations, extreme weather events, and this indeed, of course, will affect poor countries much more than it will affect us.
Now, that's the point that I would like to highlight. So, because we will see, or we are seeing that we have a social problem, because these consequences about climate change, because there will be more floods, more droughts, so there will be a social problem with migrations. All those peoples that are living not only in those poor countries, in those territories that are more vulnerable to climate change, we will be one of the origin or the starting point to be this coming immigration, this next immigration that as far as we understand the migration, because we are used to know about those migration that from Africa, people go to Europe on boats, but now maybe we can see that social problem even in the south of Europe, because people won't have enough resources to work with. There won't be employments for all those peoples, and the crops and the harvest will decrease, and they will be looking for another opportunities in the north of Europe. So it's a point that we should consider in all the global context of climate change.
Yes, and we should not forget also the health issues. I mean, this is a really important point, because when we are living in conditions in which, for example, there is no enough water, or the temperatures are rising excessively in summer, for example, the health of the people is clearly affected. Indeed, in the last heat waves that we have lived in Europe in the last 10 years, we have seen a large increase of deaths in the summer periods.
And this is one point that I think all those people that we are working in communication, we should highlight, because I don't know if you have the feeling that people are not aware about climate change, because all those figures about health, about deaths, health, doesn't appear in the media. So maybe there is a false perception that it's not so urgent to address climate change, because, and if we want to influence in their behavior, if they don't feel that the problem of climate change is also their problem, they won't be engaged addressing climate change with many other measures. So maybe I think that it's better or it's worse to address or to deal the topic in a global way for everybody to feel that is their problem.
Yes, but I think that it is not necessary to cover this kind of issues in media, because I think that people in every country and in every continent in the world are experiencing the significant impacts of climate change that you have explained. So
but I go further, because if you see your neighbors, your friends, and you ask them what about climate change, they feel far from their daily problems. So if you translate that it's a global problem, and it can be, how do you say, be a problem for their social life, their employment, their health. Take into account this healthy crisis, COVID. Yeah. Everything has been dropped around the healthy crisis. So if we are able to showcase or to raise the problem that is another emergency that we should address, I think the way of thinking of the society will change, because we do need them in order to face this problem.
Yeah, but I think that during this healthy crisis situation, people already has realized that the climate change crisis is there. For example, everybody has realized that we have had more raining days during the lockdown, because there were not cars in the street, there were industries producing less CO2 emissions. So people has realized about the emergency situation about climate change that we are having at this moment.
No, it's true.
Yeah, sorry. No, but this is really a complicated issue. I would say from one side, I really agree with you that everyone is feeling the consequences of climate change more frequently. This is clear. But I also think that not everyone is aware of this being a consequence of climate change, let's say. Therefore, that the media addresses this question, I think, is really key to bring to society to a point in which they understand that every aspect of their daily lives could have a strong impact on climate change, let's say, or indeed in the fact of stopping climate change. That is what we are discussing here. Yeah. So one of the big problematics that we have, the main problematic that we have, is the rising temperatures. And one of the key aspects is to try to decelerate this increase. So indeed what we are trying to do, let's say, as society, is to not increase the temperature more than 1.5 degrees. And this is absolutely not simple. So you have to understand that if we continue the things as we do right now, we will have an increase of temperature of about 3 to 5 degrees. So imagine how change should change, let's say how things should change to reduce this increase of temperature. And individuals should understand that everything that they do has a consequence in this kind of aspects of society. So climate change is not a remote scientific issue. It's something that affects our daily lives. But of course, as we were discussing before, this is also a very complex and global situation, and for that reason it has to be also addressed from global perspectives.
I must say that the COVID-19 has shocked the world, and for one side, has been done a very good learning lesson, because people has realized that we weren't agree with the world, with the planet. We were the causes of the climate change, because we have been watching on TV many reports, many documentaries when animals came to the city, or something different issues that never occur, never happened in the city, and it was because the citizen activity were stopped. The citizen activities were stopped, and suddenly the balance from the environment and the city and the citizens were established. So this is a lesson that we should learn as individuals, but also we should realize that climate change doesn't wait, so we should work in a very hard way of working all together to stop this. The crisis, the health crisis, has taught us that we were not ready for this kind of crisis. But we are listening the last years that we have to address climate change, and we have only 10 years left for addressing. If we want to get over this 1.5 degrees, but we should run for working on that.
This is absolutely true, but let's say like that, you are talking about 10-year period, but I would say we are already late.
Yeah.
I mean, we are already suffering the consequences, and every year, for example, here in Valencia, let's bring it a little bit global, the Mediterranean region itself is a climate change hotspot. So it means this is one of the areas around the world that would be more largely affected by the impacts of climate change. And as we already said several times, we are already suffering these consequences. So in the last years, we have seen heat waves every summer. We have seen all over Europe, particularly in Spain. We have this situation very frequently, also in Valencia city. We have extreme precipitations at the coast. There has been deaths in the last years. There has been losses in infrastructures, etc. So at this point, we should not only work in the aspect of trying to reduce increased temperatures, etc., but there are three key aspects that we have to work in that are always the prevention, adaptation, and mitigation that we talk about.
Okay. And Marta, what do you think about what's the role of society, government and business in the fight against the climate change?
Okay, as I said before, this is a complex challenge, a complex problem that we should address everybody in a joint way. I mean, we should work all together, business, academia, policymakers, researchers, and society. But we should work in innovation in order to change the paradigm and to make a more impact change in order to change the issues and activities that we have done so far. So one of the things that we have to do is to make gradual innovation and to shift to systemic innovation, because as we said before, we are addressing a global and complex problem. This means that we should address the problem in a systematic way, because there are many systems taking part of the problem. So every system is connected with many others. So as we said before, take into account the COVID-19 crisis. It was a healthy crisis, and many other systems were connected. So in climate change, it's the same. We should change the way of make innovation. We should leave the traditional way that it was in an incremental way of make innovation in order to make a systematic systemic innovation. It means we should change many things. For instance, to work together, I said before, with collaboration and co-creation between all the stakeholders and all the actors. In one part, there is the society, because their voice is important to listen, because you can gather so much information about their perspective. You should listen the sectors, the business, in order how to make this transition in a just transformation in time. And also we should listen, or we should take the advantage of the work of the researchers and the academia, because they are so professionals, they are looking for new technological solutions, and they are working on that. All together can make a systemic innovation into the systems that compose all the global problem. So that's because I ask for all those people that work in innovation not to work in isolated projects. So when you work in a project, see where you can connect with other projects, with another startups that they bring new products and services, very, how do you say, disruptive solutions. So how we can work or create many solutions, many innovative solutions that are interconnected, but they all together make a bigger impact, to change this paradigm, to get solutions to solve all those problems that we, as individuals, were created with climate change. Yes, because it's our activity that were the main problems of climate change.
Yes, I completely agree with you, because I think that innovation is very important. It's important to give opportunity to some startups that have some disruptive solution, that, as you have explained, but it's important also the role of the governments, because everybody has realized a lot of times that technology goes faster than laws, for example. So in this case, the role of governments is important, because they have to publish the law, to push these new technologies that are going to help the fight against climate change. So, for example, for give some examples, the Spanish national government has published, in line with the European Union, has published the name in Spanish is the Plan Integrado, okay, in English it will be Integrated Energy and Climate National Plan, who covers the period of time from 2021 until 2030, with the objectives of having climate neutral society in 2050, and that means to reach at least 90% of reduction of greenhouse gas emissions, and to have 100% renewable electric system in 2050. The same, for example, for the Valencian regional government, who has published the draft of the Valencian law on climate change and ecological transition, and it's also, for example, very important, also the paper of the city councils, like, for example, the Valencia city councils, because they have to give the citizens information about some solutions, like, for example, renewable energies in roofs of their buildings, and so on, and to facilitate laws, taxes, different tools in order to make it easier to technology to fight against climate change.
Yes. So I think we all agree that at the end what we need is really to take far-reaching and unprecedented changes in all aspects of society, and what we need is to work all together in society. And if we really focus or summarize in four, let's say, key issues or key systems that we have to work on, it would be energy, land use, cities, and industry. So we have talked about enterprises, about governments, but I would like to highlight also to point out the importance of individuals that we discussed already before. And this is also very important, not only because what we discussed before about the role that each individual has, let's say, in working against climate change, but also in one aspect that is really of pivotal importance, that is education. I think we should really educate our children in a context of climate change. They should understand how it works. They should understand that this is something that we are living with every day, and they will for sure find ways of adaptation that maybe we are not even thinking right now.
Related with that, in Climate Kick, we have many education programs that it looks, it goes from the teenagers up to professionals. So we have a very nice program, Young Innovator, that we try to give them the tools to be the future leaders of the upcoming years, because they will have to deal with this problem that we have given them. So not only in those new professions or new jobs that they will come, but also how to deal, to be the next generation of leaders that will lead or will address this problem that we have given them. So
this is true.
It's true. It's important to create a generation with
conscious,
conscious, aware about what they are going to address. And it's a pity because sometimes the adults feel like we are a little guilty about that. But the point is that we are on time to balance this planet that we have.
We are in time to solve this, or to try and to solve this.
But this also, as I said, is important to raise children knowing about the power they have, let's say.
Yeah.
Because this is something that maybe as a society we should work a little bit more. For example, we think this is, let's say, land issues is something that is nothing related with us. But if we are the ones who are eating what the land produces, we are the ones who really would give the government, let's say, the instructions about what is needed or not. Or for example, if we say, okay, I don't have public transportation that is adequate for what I would like to have, but at the end we are voting for the politicians. This means that we could control what we want, but this is something we have to learn to deal with.
What kind of measures could limit climate change?
Okay, so for example, I think that we should work mainly in different sectors that will be electricity, industry, built environment, traffic and transport, and agriculture and land use. And to give some examples of these measures, for example, in built environment, we could thinking in new buildings will no longer be heated with natural gas, for example, or that energy tax system improve with stronger incentives for energy efficiency and CO2 reduction. Related, for example, for traffic and transport, we will think in an incentive for electric vehicles, or incentive for modal shift from car to bicycle or public transport. If we think, for example, in industry, and I'm thinking in innovation, for example, it will be necessary to fund for innovation aimed to hydrogen and other sustainable fuels. Maybe Shamiro can give more data about this, scientifically speaking, about electricity, introduction of a minimum CO2 price for electricity production, or in agriculture and land use, for example, reducing methane emissions from livestock through improved processing of manufacture. I don't know if you have any other examples of these kind of measures.
I mean, I would not, I think you really gave us a very detailed list of the actions that could be taken, let's say, but I would just put the whole thing from a scientific point of view in context, and basically what we believe is that there are 5 aspects that should be taken into account and measures that limit climate change. First of all, as we discussed in the table before, is limiting the increase of temperature to 1.5. Even 2 degrees would be a disaster. So this has been already discussed by scientists and the society itself. So this requires stabilizing greenhouse gas emissions. This is clear, and definitely produce changes, as you already detailed, in the energy systems, in the way we manage land, changes in the way we move around with transportation, and of course, again, individual changes of lifestyle.
Okay, we agree that all those points, all those key leverage points are fundamental to address climate change. But I want again to highlight that isolated activities or single projects don't solve anything. So from Climate Kit, we have created a test bed. It's like a big pilot that we are implementing in different topics. We are talking about, we have 8 deep demonstrations across Europe, but with different topics. We are addressing cities, we are addressing vulnerable regions, those regions that are especially affected by climate change, as the south of Europe. We are also addressing the problem of those regions that they have to tackle the transition from a heavy industry and coal-based industry to another more climate-friendly. Also, we have the deep demonstrations about land use and food systems. That is fundamental for all those. Another one for circular economy, another for long-termism in order to look further than we are looking now. And I think I forget one. Ports is very important. Ports and maritime hubs are by itself a little system, a little city because they have industry, they have transport, they have tourism, and we are working with these 8 deep demonstrations with many examples, and they are like a test bed or big pilots that we are testing our innovation, our projects, but as a portfolio approach. That means that not only singles and isolated activities or projects, so those projects that, and startups and many solutions that are interconnected, and they can bring a bigger impact in the solutions. And also, all the society are invited to participate and co-create that solution. Civil society, governments, policymakers, business, academia, researchers. So we started last year, for instance, in cities, we are started with Madrid City Council, and we are having very good results, very good, a very high engagement for all the society. And we will see, because Madrid City Council is setting out like a reference jointly with Amsterdam City and Milano, that we also have this demonstration with them. So we are working in systemic innovation, and I hope that in 1 year, 2 years, there will be some results in order to achieve our goals and to have enough time to achieve in 2030 with something achieved.
Yes. And I totally agree with what you mentioned about this multidisciplinary activity and the fact that we all have to work together. But I would like just for once to point out the importance of science. That is not
Yeah.
always
No.
heard, let's say.
They are one of the actors
Yeah,
of this
course.
big team.
Yeah, but what I want to say is that in science we know about climate change for many, many years. And there are many scientists raising the voice about this issue for many, many years. And it has not been really until, let's say, a decade or something like that, that these issues really coming into society, let's say. And of course, let's say science give us the basis to know what is expecting us and give us the basis to know what we should do to prepare ourselves for the future.
It's crucial because you are key for making decisions. You know, you said before that the law and regulation are always coming late. So that's because we appeal to policymakers and regional, local politicians to come with this test bed in order to listen, civil society, business, and everybody, and all together can create the legal framework and as well the solutions, and also well, you are a key part of this big team because your data, your researches, your findings is crucial for instance, for the policymakers to make decisions.
Sure.
In a properly way.
But maybe something that we could improve and we could work a little bit more is really this communication among the different groups. That is something that has been lacking a bit in the last years. And for that reason, I think, let's say, propositions as you do in your work are also key, let's say, to bring everything a step forward.
Maybe our role from Climate Kick is like an orchestrator of all these messy issues that everybody is doing until now in their own way, in their own path. So we want to put all together work in this challenge that is climate change.
Yes, of course. It's necessary to put all the stakeholders together to work together in the same direction because, of course, science is the base, but a lot of times science is thinking only in science and they are not thinking in, for example, in society, in business, in money. So we have to put together to science, research and innovation, to government, to business, to citizens, and this is the way that we work in ABAESEN, putting all the stakeholders together to work in the same direction and with the same objective that is the fight against climate change.
That we should recognize that no one has all the knowledge.
No,
no
it's
one.
Clear.
So we should accept that gather all the efforts from all the stakeholders, all the actors, we can build a better world. So
let's work together.
Yes, but it's difficult because as a society we were so selfish, I think, way of working. Oh, I have an idea, I have a finding.
Yes. And I don't want to share. I don't want to
share, so we should change our minds.
Of course.
Our minds, because it's the moment that I think we will feel more like brothers, like a family, because we are one family living in a planet. So.
Yes, but for example, this table, I think that is an example of this because we have scientists here, the city council, the innovation and business. So we are the example of
what.
Yes.
I think there are no point of differences here on the table.
Yes. Okay.
Which are the secondary benefits of these measures? Do you know?
Yes, of course, for sure. There are clear benefits, like, for example, the air quality, the health benefits, and a better quality of life for everyone. But I think that we have to think that with the fight against climate change, we are going to create a new, improved society with new green jobs, for example, with an economic growth cleaner, with more efficient public transport systems in cities, for example, new technologies like electric or hybrid cars, and there are more or less some of the secondary benefits that we can achieve from the fight against climate change. I don't know if you have some more examples or.
No, I think I just wanted to say that we should not forget that the Earth is limited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is an important issue. We always think this is not the case, but the Earth is limited. And the climate change is at the moment a defining issue, and I think we are really at a defining moment.
Yeah, but we should push about to change the mentality of the society, of the consumers, because our culture has pushed us so much in order to consume. So we have to change this mindset and to take more aware about that. But also I highlight the social dimension of this. So when I see the news on the TV, and many sectors are scared about, there will be no jobs, there will be no employment, this region will be down. We should give them some inspiration, some motivation, some future in order not to be scared, because this means that an industry, if you close an industry because it's not climate friendly, open another door. Okay, I close this sector, but I will open another climate industry beside this. So this employment that has been lost will be here, but we should concoct the new framework in order to give the citizens another message, because otherwise people reject the novelties, the news,
people reject
the social dimension is
very important.
Adaptation is key. I think adaptation is key, and those who adapt or will adapt to these new circumstances will be the ones who will survive.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's all. Thank you very much, all three of you, for the contributions, and hope you all enjoy the discussion. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for
See
having
you.
that.
Bye-bye.
Yes, thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Nacho Mas and I am the CEO of Startup Valencia. It's an honor to be here with you today, and I would like to start by giving a special thanks to Valencia Activa for hosting this event. The Valencian Startup Association is a private non-profit organization whose purpose is to represent startups in Valencia and to be the benchmark of an ecosystem of innovative and technological companies. We work hard to attract the best startups and entrepreneurs from all over the world to Valencia, a multicultural and creative city with a solid, collaborative and well-structured innovative entrepreneurial ecosystem, and countless startups with stories that deserve to be told. Today, we have with us some of our best in climate change and clean tech.
Hello everybody, my name is Juan Vicent and I am co-founder and chief marketing officer at Celeros Hyperloop. We are the European company developing the future of transportation, a Hyperloop system to connect cities at high speeds with zero direct emissions. Hyperloop is a new means of transport where capsules are traveling at high speeds inside low pressure tubes. That way we can achieve speeds up to 1,200 kilometers per hour with zero direct emissions and high energy efficiency. That way we can connect cities and logistic hubs that are 400 to 1,500 kilometers away at very high speeds. Hyperloop is not something new. 200 years ago there were some ideas in UK and the technology was not ready at that point. That's why at Celeros we decided to keep developing, and there were some developments in magnetic levitation systems. But why Hyperloop now? The first thing is because transport accounts for 1/3 of transport greenhouse emissions, and on the other side, the populations are growing in the cities, and air traffic saturation is a problem. On the other side, governments and private investors are committing to green sustainable investments. And on the other side, now the technology is ready. In 2013, Elon Musk popularized again this concept of Hyperloop and organized a competition. We participated in this competition as a university team from Valencia, and we won the top design and the best propulsion system award. This made us create the company in 2016 to develop a real system of Hyperloop. And now we are one of the 8 companies in the world developing Hyperloop systems, each one with a different approach, and we are based in Valencia and with a special focus on bringing the Spanish advantage of this technology to the world. Our headquarters are located in Valencia, where we are working, and the company has grown a lot since the last years. We started as a 3 co-founder team, and right now we are happy to say that we are more than 150 people involved in the development. We are, on the one side, collaborating with the public side, with institutions like the Generalitat de Valencia, the Spanish government, and with the European Commission in order to advance Hyperloop development. And on the other side, on the private side, we are also cooperating with industry leaders in order to bring Hyperloop to a reality as soon as possible. For example, we are cooperating with Renfe, the high-speed operator in Spain, and also we are working with research centers like CIEMAT, which is a leader in magnetic levitation systems. Also, we have a board of advisors, and our team comes from leading aerospace, railway, and infrastructure companies in the world. Our system has all the technologies integrated in the vehicle, and that way we can reduce infrastructure complexity, leading to an unbeatable cost that we can make the system as scalable as possible to create Hyperloop routes all over the world. The first point is scalability of infrastructure. Analyzing all the systems of high-speed rail and also roads and magnetic levitation trains, we discovered that the main cost of a Hyperloop is the infrastructure. That way, our system includes the technologies in the vehicle having costs similar to high-speed rail, while our competitors have costs more similar to magnetic levitation systems. On the other side, we can work at safe pressure levels, similar to aviation, while our competitors are working at space pressure levels. That way, we can accelerate path to market, we can enhance safety because we have proven safety systems, and this in the end turns into cost efficiency. Our development roadmap is ambitious. We have a 10-year timeframe up to 2030 with the vision to create and certify a system for passenger transportation. And we have divided the development in 3 stages. The first stage is the laboratory validation of the subsystems. We are already ongoing, really advancing this development with 6 prototypes already developed in our headquarters here in Valencia. The next step is to integrate all these subsystems into a vehicle that will be tested next year in a 3-kilometer test track we are developing in Spain with the support of a consortium of leading industry partners from Spain and also the public administration. And the third phase is the creation at European level of a real-size system that will be certified to create routes all over the world. As a company, we are focused on developing the vehicle, but we cooperate with Hyperloop operators and infrastructure developers in order to go together to these feasibility studies that will turn into feasible routes of Hyperloop in the future, cooperating with public and private promoters to develop those routes. Also, we have short-term revenue streams where we are using our knowledge that we are gathering with such an advanced engineering team to develop things like magnetic levitation elevators and also doing feasibility studies for the governments, and also using our linear motor launcher, for example, for decarbonizing port automation. In terms of standardization and regulations, the progress has been amazing since the last 3 years. We started with a cooperation of the main Hyperloop promoters, and since then we created the world's first standardization committee that was at European level for Hyperloop transportation, which is now in operation. And also the governments are launching regulatory studies on Hyperloop, and we are promoters, and at Celeros we are promoters and happy to be part of this amazing work that is being done. Also, the European Parliament is supporting Hyperloop as one of the alternatives to short-haul aviation. So that's a promising future. Also, the World Economic Forum is having Hyperloop as one of the 20 markets of the future. Our vision is to develop a system that can also have a social impact and meet the sustainable development goals, especially those related to the economic growth and the industry and infrastructure, because we can save a lot of emissions in compare with aviation for the same routes. Our vision is to connect the world in a matter of minutes, and that's why we are developing at Celeros a scalable Hyperloop system. Let's connect the world and expand the limits of mobility. Thank you very much.
Imagine continents connected in a matter of minutes. Imagine the comfort of the metro at the speed of a plane. Imagine a scalable and zero emissions global means of transportation. This dream has a name, and it's closer than you can possibly imagine. Welcome to Celeros Hyperloop.
Hello everyone, my name is Francisco Benedito and I am the CEO of Climate Trade. Climate Trade is a company that was born to disrupt the carbon markets. We are focused on sustainability, and our goal is to provide the companies with services in order to become carbon neutral. Climate Trade was born back in 2017 as a marketplace where to put together providers of carbon offsets worldwide with companies who are polluting and that they want to, whether because of their policies, internal policies or regulations, to achieve carbon neutrality within the years. Or basically, we provide services on both the voluntary market and the mandatory market. As you know, Paris Agreement in 2015 states that a commitment by all governments worldwide and different organizations to achieve zero emissions by 2050. So not only governments, but corporations and different companies will have to achieve that goals, as we know also in the European Union with the European New Green Deal, right? So we both provide services with a technology that uses blockchain technology, but both the voluntary and in the mandatory in the UETS market. So for doing so, we provide new services, we provide technology, we provide blockchain technology in order to provide agility, traceability, transparency, and reduce costs, because we eliminate intermediaries in the process. So for you to understand, whenever the markets were created, intermediaries were getting the big part of the profit, the big part of the cake of the transaction. We need to empower the provider. We need to empower the developer of projects, because their climate impact will be made then. So what we do is to put in contact all the biggest projects worldwide with the highest standards, BCS, BERA, Gold Standard, CDM, UNFCCC, or also governments. All governments around the world will be generating their own credits, and all that credits we will be connecting with the new technologies to provide them to our platform. So for you to understand, what we think also is that what is going to happen in the future is that every single product or service will be carbon measured and will be carbon tagged. So as the new Green Deal is stating already, will be a carbon border tax mechanism in the European Union. So we need one service, we need one tool to provide carbon neutrality to the products and services. So how does it work? Climate Trade provides an API, which is Climate Trade Go, that we already implemented with airline groups, hotel chains, online stores, and different other services. So what we provide is a calculation of the carbon footprint of the specific service or product, and then we do the possibility of compensating. We give that possibility to the customer to be able to compensate it. So this is the example for Tool.com from Telefonica. As you saw before, it was Iberia airline. And also, we provide an API where they can have all the detail of all the transactions being made in their pages, and also all the tons of CO2 that are being reduced. This is crucial. This is very important because, as you may know, every year governments has to report to the European Union and to the United UNFCCC, in this case, the achievements on reducing, on decarbonization, on reducing emissions. So it's very important that you have everything digitized. We need to have everything digitized, and we need to have everything under one tool, and something that you can download and you can provide in your non-financial reporting. So we also do micro-contribution in the stores, and also we provide services on the sustainability report. Next year, 2021, every single company that has more than 250 employees, they will have to issue a sustainability report. What that means? They need to tell what they are doing in sustainability, the emissions that they are reducing, and all the efforts they're doing in reducing and efficiency. So this, we are also digitizing the sustainability report and can provide services to the companies. So who are we working with? Who are our customers? We are working with some of the biggest companies in Europe. At the moment, we work with Iberia in the IAG group, Telefónica, Acciona, Suez, Norauto, Cabify, Santander Bank, BME, Meliá, Hotels International, and many others, like Correos and UK Census. So our team is multidisciplinary and very complementary. We have marketing team, very strong marketing and communication team, also all internal developers. We have also already 4 developers full stack working with us. My partner Jose Lindo and I, who are leading the company, I'm been banker for 15 years, and my partner comes from United Nations for being also 14 years in the program UN Red. So, and also we pretty much have a very strong team in commercial, because we need, it's very important to be talking with companies every day by phone still. So also we have pretty important advisors as in our side, and we are in different associations worldwide. Juan Verde, that you may know because is the advisor of the last president, the President Obama, and now with Biden also. Alejandro Calderón, ex-vice president of Morgan Stanley, and Walter Schindler, one of the biggest green tech investors in the United States, and Alejandro Cremades, a Spanish millionaire in the United States, which written The Art of Fundraising, which is one of the biggest bestseller on fundraising. We are part of Climate Kick as partners, Climate Change Coalition. We are founders of the Climate Change Coalition of the United Nations. We are part of the commission of the ICC Spain, the Chamber of Commerce of Spain, and part also of IASE, which is the biggest company for environmental services for the universities, governments, and companies for teaching about climate. So in 2018, United Nations recognized us as the best solution for the carbon markets worldwide. So after 2020, because it's the kickoff of the Paris Agreement, and we have been mentioned in different media worldwide. Finally, we won several awards through all the world, in Dubai, in the World Green Energy Summit, in Hangar 51 of IAG Group, the World Economic Survey that I mentioned, SIP2B, we won last year the contest, and Startup Valencia as the best startup last year in Spain. And well, the case studies to end, as I mentioned, Iberia, Airlines, Telefónica, we compensated the last shareholders meeting, also Norauto, online store, Telefónica, and well, many others that are coming that will be coming in the following months. What we want is everyone to be able to provide their little effort to reduce emissions and to fight climate change. Thank you so much.
Hello, I'm Jose Ferrer, co-founder and head of innovation in Green Urban Data. We are an environmental impact startup focused on cities, helping them to become healthier and more resilient places. To achieve this, first step is to obtain more and better information on environmental, and also to know how to manage it and understand it. This is the reason why, for us, we express our purpose in introducing the concept of environmental intelligence. Green Urban Data borns of the ambitions of 2 friends, one architect, Alejandro Carbonell, and an urban planner, that's me. wanting to create healthier cities. Our vision is to create cities that take care of people's health. And for that, in the digital era, we provide digital services for companies and institutions to improve urban environmental planning and management. In this way, we arrive to improve the health and well-being of citizens. As I've said, we are an impact startup. As for example, last year we were honored to obtain the Impact Business Seal by SIP2B Accelerator, and also have just finished our program in the accelerator from the City Council in Valencia, CoLab. And in this time, we are working now to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals, like number 11, Sustainable Cities, 13, Climate Action, or 15, Life on Land. Also, we are ambitious, and we have started this year to work on the number 3, Good Health. We have been involved in an impact accelerator promoted by an insurance company called DKV. And also number 7, Clean Energy. We have been also involved in a program, in a European program called PARSEC, which promotes the use of air or observation data for the energy sector. In these works, we lead with some problems mainly related to climate change. We monitor adaptation indicators. We identify best places to make pilots or promote actions, and we measure the impact of this. Also, we work with Sustainable Development Goals assessing to connect key indicators for a more efficient strategies. Also, we work with green infrastructure. We measure very accurately the green infrastructure in urban areas, and we are able to assess for better strategies, better planning, or better management. And also we work in social and urban innovation. We develop new services, and we are improving the collective knowledge and also promoting healthier lifestyles. Our main technology is the use of satellite data, introducing it in the smart cities context. In our case, we are pioneers introducing this data in the smart environment context. And of course, we also combine this technology with other tools like big data, deep learning, and of course, our secret ingredient, that is, we are experts as data analytics. From the package value we offer our customers, they result that we don't need any infrastructure. So there is a very, very important difference in costs, cost reduction. And it's easier for technicians and for politicians to access data in a unique platform and obtain the data relevant for their decisions. This data is always updated. And of course, the most valuable we provide our customers is trust. As I've said, our main customer segment are GovTech, in which we have been working with more than 8 municipalities this year, mainly capitals like Valencia, Zaragoza, or Madrid. We have obtained just this month first contract, but also with the private sector, working with service companies like Ferrovial or consultancy firms like IDOM. And also this year, we have started to work with a new segment. It's the academic segment, working with researchers from the University of San Antonio in Texas. We have learned a lot in these years from more than 8 accelerators. We have been the prestige to be involved in them, and still continue learning in them, especially in that which have impact. For example, Climate Kick, C2B, of course, Collab here in Valencia. And of course, we have been honored also with some awards like the Valencia Startup Awards in 2018, or being finalist in the South Summit, or of course, grateful to be here now, thanks. Our solutions are mainly two products and a consultancy service. Main product is an environmental SaaS indicator. It's a B2B service focused on government. And second one is a Healthy Routes app. It's also a B2G service, but we are exploring new opportunities to go for B2B or B2C. And in this context, we also offer different services for companies and institutions where we still continuing to improve our products. Now I'm going to explain a bit more of any of them. First one is Environmental Indicator SaaS. This product provides environmental indicators in an easy way for technicians and for politicians in municipalities. It provides two different interfaces. First one is like a dashboard where you can consult more than 60 different indicators in an easy way, as you can obtain the data always updated, and also compare the data with your goals, and also observe the last trends. From any of these indicators, you can also check the more detailed data in a second interface, which is more explained, the benefits of indicators, a detailed map, and also a graph of evolution of them. A second version of this software is more advanced, but complementary with the other. It is oriented also to check indicators, but in any random area you want in the city. You can obtain the data of any random area you want. This is for more advanced users, and this is, for example, used for here in Valencia and also in the University of Texas. Second main product we have is the Healthy Routes app. It's to promote the sustainable mobility. It promotes you to go for a walk or for a new route by foot or by bike, and you can obtain, or you can schedule the route when you want, and from any 2 points you can obtain, for example, the route with more shade, less noise, or less allergens. Also, you can obtain a value of the benefit you obtain of routing in the environmental optimal route compared, for example, with the short one, as Google Maps can provide. And the last one segment of services we provide is more open, is in the relationship with our customers. We are improving our work, and we are exploring new services, as for example, the benefit of urban trees, working with Zaragoza or Fuenlabrada, the detection of abandoned lots, working with the Cieza City Council, or also Castellón has been interested. Also with the Ferrovial Service Company, we have worked in different studies of burning potential, helping them to improve the waste management services. And of course, in the sustainable indicators advice, as we are working here in Valencia. We are a little team, but strong, committed with our goals. It is composed by Alejandro, my co-founder and CEO. He works in the company strategy. Maria Jose is our data scientist and analyst, is expert in remote sensing and also developer. Recently joined our team. Jose Luis Rodriguez comes from a big company in Spain, has a lot of context and experience, and works now together with us. And me, I'm responsible from the innovation of the company, and we also are hiring for a new person oriented to develop. Last message from Green Urban Data. Let's build together cities that take care of people's health. Thanks for your attention, and let's talk.
Hello, my name is Ignacio Guerrero, CTO of Ampere Energy. Ampere Energy is a technology provider that enables the change for how we manage energy in our world right now. Ampere Energy is a developer of many products, many devices, such as energy storage devices related mainly to photovoltaic installations, also electromobility and virtual power plants. Our focus is the user, and that's why we not only manufacture our products, but also we develop firmware and software, and that means that we let the user have specific tools for how to connect to these devices. Also, it is important to note that our devices run deep learning algorithms that help them know how to manage electricity specific in a certain way, so it matches the user behavior. And that is what my colleague is going to tell you about.
Hello, my name is José Manuel Torrelo. I am the Product Engineering Manager in Ampere Energy. At Ampere Energy, we design and manufacture energy management solutions that are based on lithium-ion batteries. We provide a real all-in-one solution which is intelligent and is connected. Inside our systems, as you can see, we have the batteries, we have a hybrid bidirectional inverter, and we have the energy management system. The energy management system has a main objective of maximize the energy consumption from your photovoltaic installation and reduce the energy consumption from the grid. That is done thanks to the artificial intelligence algorithms that we have running inside the EMS, the energy management system. Those algorithms are learning from your consumption habits. They are also learning which is the weather forecast for the next day, and they can also work with time of use variable tariffs of the electricity. Mixing all this together, the system, the EMS is going to know when it's the best moment to charge or discharge the battery in order to maximize your savings from the energy bill. For example, as you can see behind me, there is a graph that explains how a system is going to know that the next day you are not going to have enough surplus of photovoltaic energy from your photovoltaic installation to charge the battery up to 100%. So the system will decide to charge, for example, that day, the battery a little bit from the grid to use that energy loaded during the cheap time of the energy, later during the most expensive time of the energy. This is something that the system is going to do every day differently and in a dynamic way. All our systems are connected to internet, and this provides monitorization through the application and through our web page. We also provide electrical vehicle bidirectional chargers. Those chargers are going to use the battery of the electrical vehicle in the same way that we can use the battery inside of energy storage products. Our range of products go from 3 kilowatt single phase systems up to 9 kilowatt three phase systems, and the capacity of our products range from 3 kilowatts hour up to 36 kilowatts hour.
Apart from these amazing devices, we are aware of a specific problem that we have in most electrical markets. That is that at a high penetration of renewable energy sources in an electrical system, this leads into a less manageable system. And that's why we thought, okay, we have these devices that provide a lot of information from the grid, a lot of information from the user, such as the demand, solar photovoltaic generation, but we have that completely individual, in an individual way. So that's why we thought, okay, why we don't just provide that information, send that information to the same cloud and gather that information into a platform that allows a grid actor to use some flexibility of these devices. And well, that's what we did. This is Amperia, which is a virtual power plant, which mainly what it does is provide flexibility from these individual devices. It gathers them all, it gathers all their behavior into a single power plant flexibility. And that allows the grid actor to ask for grid services, not only provide energy into the grid, but also to absorb. Amperia is the first virtual power plant developed in Spain, and also the best in its way because of its unique functionalities such as flexibility and elasticity. Most virtual power plants split the battery of the user into a percentage that has the user and another percentage that is managed by the grid actor. We don't do that. We provide 100% of the battery to both actors, and that's because of the functionality of the elasticity, in which we turn a complex energy problem into a single and more simpler to solve economic problem. Also, the virtual power plant has clustering, which is the way of the virtual power plant to provide smaller virtual power plants underneath. And there are other functionalities such as live self-correction, adaptable grid service requirements, batteries degradation minimization. We have a model, a mathematical model that provides the degradation of the batteries, and we put that cost into the offer to the grid actor. Also, the fulfillment of the offer we provide, that is super important for the grid actors as well. And well, that's what we do. I hope you could join us in ampere-energy.com. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Music by the human being is one with the planet. Everything that affects the world affects me. Everything that affects me affects the world. We give each other life. We are one. But there's something we haven't done right. So we need to react. We are still on time. If you wish to make the world a better place, if you really want to build a new world, you have to start with yourself. Welcome to Ampere World. A world in which each of us can create without destroying. And now, thanks to smart technology, this gives us the opportunity to generate, store, distribute and manage clean and sustainable energy. A world in favor of the planet and every human being, because efficient energy not only reduces our ecological footprint, but also our bills. A world in which comfort is guaranteed, because your supply will not fail you at any time. A world of collaboration and respect, which millions of people and companies join every day. We are a great community that is growing without stopping. Ampere World has arrived. It's real. You may think it's a good option, or you may think it is the option. What do you think? Ampere. You are the energy that moves the new world.
Hello, I'm Alberto, I'm CEO of Sunnerbox. It's a pleasure for us to be here in Global Startup City Summit 2020. Sunnerbox developed its different solutions or applications in the use of patented structures that allows move it and use the renewable source in different places like is the sun. We can see in the picture a sandbox structure in the middle of the field. Now we are trying to explain our activity and application follow this index. Inside the balloons, we can see different concepts that for us are very important. One of them is solar radiation, is the main source renewable for us in all solutions. The energy challenge, current challenge where we want to develop our applications. Innovate base is very important part in the core of all our develops, and fight to climate change is finally our contribute to this common fight. Then, in summary, we try to offer solutions to maximize the use of photovoltaic solar energy. Our mission is bring photovoltaic solar energy to as many uses as possible. And for them, we think that is three parts very important for us, like micromobility, double uses, and temporary uses. My coworker Alejandro tried to explain all of these areas. Alejandro.
Hello, I'm Alejandro Martinez from Box, and I'm going to explain you that our main goal is bring photovoltaic solar energy to new modes of personal transport. Box stations destined to micromobility are designed to get integrated into urban environments and also offer sustainable solution for small trips, and also reinforce urban transport mainly in intermodality. In micromobility, Box brings the solution to promote the use of the electric scooter. How? Well, we through mobile charging stations that can be used also as parking. According to the German Environment Agency, this micromobility is faster on routes up to 10 kilometers. We consider 4 scenarios for our activity. One is the high-intensity areas. The second one is the intermodality. The third one is the temporality. And the fourth one is the sharing. In these scenarios for micromobility, we have the high-intensity areas like hospitals and large administrative buildings that allow people in these buildings to have access to this kind of transport. Intermodality combines all the existing public transports with the scooters and micromobility devices. Sharing, that is very important for us also, and temporary uses that we have to talk here about that our main goal here in temporary uses is moving energy where it is needed. The units of the Sunner Box are designed to capture, store, and deliver to bring photovoltaic solar energy where it is needed. Some uses could be humanitarian, civil, and military camps or similar concepts. Also for temporary uses, we have temporary roofs, making use of the same concept of capturing and storing photovoltaic solar energy. It is intended to take advantage of the existing temporary roofs if they suit the condition for our stations. They could be, for example, sea container covers, like the example in the photograph. And now Alberto is going to explain the next.
Thanks, Alejandro. Only say that the different solution of Sunner Box has a little impact of proposed solution like sustainable development goals, like this. The number 3, 7, 8, 9, 11, and 12 goals of this type of development goals. We hope that you like this project like us. Thank for all.
Hello, my
My name is Alejandro Micó, founder of Sanalyzer, and today I'm going to tell you why we have created this company. We are living amazing times in the field of energy. This is the first time in history where the countries of the world has agreed on a same goal to achieve a neutral carbon planet by 2050. This is a tremendous challenge. Let's take a look on the solar energy, a renewable source. This is the target. This is the strategy. Okay, the technology is available. It is cost efficient. We know how we have to do it, but look at this. This is the energy consumption on the last centuries in the world, where the people gets more consumption because of the life expectancy, and it is expected that in the future the population will grow. So the challenge is not only to replace this energy, we need to deliver reliable energy and renewable energy to the people that has lack of it. Now, let's go on the other side. Let's go to see the people that is making a change. These are my parents, Rafael and Adela. They live in the country, in a small house, they want to install solar panels, but they are getting quotes, they don't understand how to do it. So, okay, maybe it's just my parents that doesn't know how to do it. Well, in fact, no, it's also your parents, because 70% of the people consider themselves not informed at all. That means that nobody knows how to do it. Okay, so that's the question. How are we going to get a neutral planet in 2050 if the people doesn't know how to do it? Well, this is why we have created Sanalyzer. Sanalyzer is a solar energy marketplace where we are going to put in contact people that want to install solar panels with solar installers that live near in the area. How it works. Installers will have a profile with review ratings from previous customers and an experience track record, so they will be verified. And on the other side, the people can request quotes, compare them, and hire the service to make the best decision, because there will be a one-stop shop. They can make all the decisions. They will have a variety of companies to compare and choose, and the best of all, they will have the best price because the company are close to the customer. Okay, how this makes money? From one side, we have the monthly subscription from the installers. They are going to pay us to get customers in the near areas, and from the side of the customers, they will pay for services when the project gets built. This technology is made cloud native, so it's not necessary to make software, apps, mobile, etc. It works with the internet. It has a very easy and intuitive interface, and it is designed to expand. We can expand to every country in less than 3 months. How is it going? Okay, so we started in Brazil. We have more than 400 installers in almost all the states in Brazil, and every month we are receiving 150 customers that want to install solar panels. What about Europe? Okay, we have started in Spain. We are less than 2 months from now. We are almost 50 installers, and the objective is to be 100% operative by the end of 2020. And these are the guys that are making this possible. Diego Loureiro, that is the CEO of the company, has a lot of experience with renewable energy. Me, Alejandro, I'm from Spain, but I've lived 6 years in Chile making solar projects in Atacama Desert in Chile, in Brazil, in Argentina and Peru. Rafael and Murilo, that are advisors, CTO, working on the architecture and technology of the company. So I would like to invite you to enter in sanalyzer.es to discover all the things that we are doing in Brazil and in Spain. Thank you very much, and get this challenge done.
Hello everyone, my name is Gabriela and I'm the head of operation at CoCircular. First of all, I think we can all agree we reached that point when we finally take responsibility of all the damage we have done to nature. Basically, the biggest problem is that we used to take nature good for granted and unlimited, and that's not true. Linear economy, known as produce, use, and throw away, has evolved into an environmental problem with a global scale. And landfills are very close to collapse. In order to change this, we need to provide solutions from circular economy. But also, did you know that construction is the industry which generates more waste in the world? Only in Europe, more than 30% of the total waste generated come from construction. That gives us 890 million tons in Europe and 45 million tons in Spain of waste ending in landfill every year. So we do have a big challenge. Aiming to solve this, the European Union has established the objective to valorize 70% of all the construction and demolition waste by 2020, and luckily, Spain has a draft law in place to regulate the industry by developing a new technical code and setting sanctions in order to achieve the metrics established by the European Union. Now, truth is that constructions in Spain have a very unrealistic planning, which generate budget deviations, valorizations below 30%, and resulting in 90% of that waste in landfill due to the lack of traceability. At CoCircular, we have the mission that no waste should end up in landfill. In order to achieve it, we provide in each case scenario a real solution for its recovery, ensuring traceability and incorporating such waste again into the economy as new products. Our clients are all the agents involved in a construction project, such as real estate, architectural firms, construction companies, and engineers. The idea is that all together we help Spain in the goal of closing landfill by 2030. So the question will be, how do we do it? Our services start at the beginning of the project, planning the construction and demolition waste with the real estate, to then provide support to the construction company with training, protocols, data control, traceability, and providing a green tag at the end of the project that certifies the goal achieved. We have, in one side, the Valoriza certification, is a tag earned when the project achieved the objective of recovering a minimum of 70% of the waste generated. And we also have the Recicla certification. This tag is granted when a minimum of 20% of the generated waste is indirectly included in the project through products. All right, so here we have an example in order to explain our value proposition. With our service, a project of 147 apartments is correctly managing 4,000 tons of waste, where 80% of those are getting valued, representing 10 tons of carbon saved to the environment and achieving savings of 35% from the initial budget. At the moment, we are developing a software in compliance with the new regulations, which is expected to work in a transversal and integrated way with the main actors of the process, including developers, construction companies, waste managers, and public entities. All this is possible thanks to this multifunctional team. CoCircular is part of Subilabs, a group of companies focused on sustainability and impact. Subilabs co-founds company that seeks to generate a positive impact in our closest environment, using business as an instrument to achieve economic, social, and environmental profitability. We are more than 80 professionals with different movements and a stage of maturity. So, helped with Subilabs, CoCircular has managed to propose a business aligned with the sustainability agenda created by the European Union. Because at CoCircular, we believe that every reused material does not need to be taken from nature, and therefore, it won't return as a waste. Thank you so much for your attention.
She is not a girl born this year, but a year to be born, right? But the next few years for Noah will be much worse. During her youth, maturity, and old age, she will experience the worst effect of climate change. Megafires, strained roads, melting of the poles, and climate refugees. Seems incredible, right? But what seems even more incredible is that all these terrible consequences will have been the responsibility of a single generation, our generation. Carbon dioxide is the greenhouse gas with the greatest impact on the global warming. For millions of years, the concentration of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere has remained stable. But in a single generation, we have emitted so much carbon dioxide that we have reached a record of 418 parts per million. Each of us emits carbon dioxide from everyday actions such as our trips, the food we eat, or the energy we consume. In total, we are responsible for emitting an average of 6.4 tons of CO2 per year per person. This amounts to saying that each of us cut down 4 trees, melt 2 meters of Arctic ice, or take 9 flights from Madrid to Los Angeles every year. So, what can we do? According to the experts, if we want to prevent NOAA from suffering the most severe consequences of climate change, we must keep global warming below 1.5 degrees. That is, we must reduce our emissions by 45% by 2030. And how can we do it? Obviously, we cannot decide what farm we should plant, what car to build, or what nuclear power plant to shut down. But we can choose more sustainable alternatives that allow us to reduce our emissions, such as use solar energy, eating a low-emission diet, or drink filtered tap water, among many others. And that's what we do at Honors. Honors is a marketplace of sustainable alternatives that allow us to reduce your impact while saving money. How does it work? First, calculate your carbon footprint. Second, reduce your footprint by buying more sustainable alternatives. Lastly, offset your remaining emissions by reforesting. In this way, Honors lets you to reduce your annual emissions by 100%. In addition, it allows you to save more than 1,000 euros per year. And all of this much earlier than the experts tell us we have to do it, in just 5 minutes. Imagine all the impact we could get. We are increasingly aware of our responsibility. 74% of consumers already take environmental aspects into account when consuming. This represents a business volume of 5,000 million euros per year only in Spain, and it is growing annually by 10%. But in addition to all the environmental, social, and economic impact that we achieve, we also earn money from this. We have 3 main income streams. In products, we receive a commission from the supplier for each sale. In services, we receive a periodic commission from the supplier for retaining their clients. The longer their life cycle, the more income we obtain. In addition, we capture a small part of the saving we generate for our clients. I am Albert Saez, founder and CEO at Honor, and we have a wonderful team behind, expert in development, impact, marketing, and business. We started the business in October of last year. During this year, we have validated several services and products, and we can say that we have found the product market fit, from which we will scale the model until we reach break-even in November 2021. When NOAA is 10 years old and asks you, what did you do to avoid the climate change? Remember that we are the first generation to feel the impact of the climate change and the last generation that can do something about it. Thank you.
Pollution is turning off our cities, so we have developed Light. Light is an app that motivates people to be more sustainable in their daily routines. Through gamification and smart city systems, we incentivize actions like the use of public transport, riding bike, and recycling. Also being rewarded if you share these actions on your social networks, challenging your family and friends to be more sustainable. The rewards are the Light, a virtual coin which you could use in exchange for products and services as discount or daily rewards. Currently, we have launched the beta app, an active prototype, and several pilot programs with positive results. Besides, we have received support and recognition from important companies and institutions related with young entrepreneurship. Our goal, thanks to Light, is to make cities more sustainable. Do you want to Light with us?
Good morning. Today we have 2 special guests, 2 young entrepreneurs that have built an amazing app. Good morning, Carlos, Santiago. How are you?
Fine.
I've done a little bit of research and your career is quite impressive. You have turned sustainability in something so cool. Tell us a little bit about Light, please.
Thank you. Light is an app that motivates people to be more sustainable in daily routines. Through gamification, smart city system, and artificial intelligence, we can track different actions like the use of public transport, riding bike, or recycling, and we reward the users with lights. The lights are a virtual coin that they can exchange in different prices. For example, we have some partnerships with fashion brands, restaurants, or cinemas, and then the users compete between other users in different challenges, and then can get this type of rewards to be more sustainable.
Okay, so Carlos, we know that Light motivates people to be more sustainable, but how exactly? How does the app work, please?
Well, when a user performs a sustainable activity, such as walking, riding a bike, the use of public transport, or recycling, our algorithm, which uses artificial intelligence, validates and tracks the activity and calculates the effort that the user has put in. And then that is exchanged into the lights, and then they can exchange the points for the prices that Santi was talking about. But also, about 4 years ago, we noticed that there were some apps that were being very successful, introducing a concept of gamification, which is applying game mechanics into something that is not really a game. And we thought that we would put this into Light as well. And so our users are motivated to be more sustainable because they have game mechanics going on.
Wow, so interesting. And Santi, tell me a little bit how all this idea started, because I guess it was a few years ago.
Yeah, Light started in a hackathon. It is a competition focusing ideas that can solve the great problems of the world. In this case, with students of the university. And Carlos and me met in a summer camp in the nature. I was studying architecture, and he was beginning the degree of engineer, and he also is developer. And we get like the first team of Light in order to manage our skills, no, in design, communication, leadership, even business, and in the other part, the product, technology, development, in order to focus in the fight against the global warming. So it was the beginning, and currently we are 7 people in the team, and now we are deploying Light in all Spain.
Nice. And Carlos, you guys started so young. You were like almost 18, and he was 21. So do you think is it an advantage to start your professional career that young, or disadvantage?
I think in the world of entrepreneurship, being young has many advantages, but also disadvantages. For example, through external parties or clients, we've seen that maybe they see that we don't have that much experience. Yes. But also being young makes us not have those too many commitments. We don't have a family to maintain. We've been working for 4 years with no income, but we were in university, so that was all right. And this has led us to take risks. And I think this is very important. If you want to start up a company, you have to take risks, and we're willing to do that.
Nice. So you were very brave and fearless.
Yeah.
Good guys. Good.
Yeah.
And Santi, I saw that you do collaborations with sustainable brands. Please tell us a little bit about this Light movement and all that implies, please.
Yeah, of course. Light, our first partners are especially the brands that promote their products in our Light market. We are looking brands that share our values, no? That they also are creating a positive impact in our planet. So these brands are sustainable fashion brands or eco restaurants, different prices that also motivate in the to get better habits in the people. And also these companies, I don't know, maybe organize the cleaning of beaches with the plastic for the oceans, or they plant trees in forest. And this is like one of our partners, because we are focused in the users, like it's the community, also the brands, and also the great corporates and institutions. It is the thing, no? We are in the beginning just like a startup or an app for mobile, but our next step, our dream, our vision is to build the life movement that is put together all these stakeholders that conform our society and boost them in the fight against the global warming.
Very, very, very strong. And Carlos, what do you think are the medium, long-term goals with Light? Because you have a really, I think, strong motto, like be part of the solution, sorry, not the pollution.
Well, I would say that our medium-long strategy is to build this community, to make people be more sustainable, to actually achieve that people change their habits because of Light, and we want to really build this community. But also about 2 years ago, we started up a new branch that we call Corporate, and we get in touch with big companies, and we throw challenges to their employees so that they can be more sustainable in their offices, so maybe recycling or with their water bottles, but also in the commuting, so how they move to work, etc. So how can they be more sustainable doing that?
Wow, so you take these social actions sustainable also in the office, not just daily life.
That's right.
Very, very nice. And final question, guys, for both of you. What do you think are the most important characteristics of entrepreneurship or startup? What's the most important thing?
For me, the most important thing, I think that is the team, because also the individual is important about the, I don't know, passion, attitude, skills, these things, but one person is not enough to build something big. So we began just two people, but now we are 7 and we can take more power, no, in the different areas, in the business, in the product, in the communication, design, marketing, and leadership. This team of awesome people that is our team. I think that is the most important thing to get and to build something big, no, bigger than us. It's a difficult part, no, the people management. But I think that is the most important and also the most beautiful part of entrepreneurship.
Nice. And Carlos, would you like to add something?
Yeah, I'd just like to add that I think if you want to start up your own company, you have to be very determined, very committed. You have to be willing to take a lot of risks and to maybe miss holidays, to work on Sundays, to work after hours.
Yes.
And many people don't know that you actually have to do this if you want to start up your own company. And all the successful companies have gone through some hard times. It's normal, but you cannot throw the towel the first time that something goes wrong. You have to keep going, and that's very hard.
Nice. So you guys, you work hard and play hard also.
Yeah.
Thank you. So thank you very much for this interview, and
thank you.
Please download Light and use it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, we are Hopu, a smart cities specialized company working in climate change mitigation. What we are doing exactly is helping cities to make evidence-based action plans. This means making use of data or all available data in order to make the right decision in order to address the climate change. We have a new way to make urban investment. All the new investment, like ERDF funds, also Green Deal, and also the Next Generation Europe, are requiring of KPIs and evidence in order to make sure that we are able to mitigate the expected climate change in order to satisfy the objective by 2030. Now, there is no longer opportunities to just make action without any kind of KPI or any mechanism to measure and understand exactly what is the impact. And that is especially for the European Green Deal, where 60% of the investment will be dependent on the verification of the emission avoidance. So it means that we can only get paid an investment to carry out our climate change mitigation action if we are able to demonstrate how far we are contributing to that. In that case, Hobu, as a specialized company in IoT and data analytics, we are creating this dashboard with a set of major spectrum of indicators, also with different artificial intelligence and machine learning models, and also different algorithms in order to create action plan that help cities to understand what are the best possibilities that they have and what are the best experience we have from previous experience in order to make sure that they can make the right approach. For example, we are integrating a lot of data coming from IoT sensors. In fact, Hopu is one of the leader companies manufacturing air quality monitoring IoT devices and noise and weather, and also integrating a lot of other data sources starting from satellite data like Copernicus, but also a lot of other open data sets available across Europe. This is a very clear example of the city of Helsinki, where we have been able to understand exactly where are the pollution origins, the pollution sources, making a difference between the mobility, the urban background, the industrial, the port, that help us to understand exactly what are the potential action and areas that we can make our effort and our investment in order to get the proper mitigation plan. So what we are doing is we are deploying this kind of sensors in cities. We are already over 500 of these devices deployed in more than 30 cities, and we are monitoring different parameters like air quality, particle matter, noise, also helping to understand the affluent and movement of people. And we are integrating all this data over referent open source solution and platform promoted by the European Union like Fireware. All this is integrated, and based on open source solution, we able to create the different indicators, dashboard, and different examples. This is a very good example just in the city of Cartagena, here in Spain, where we have several sensors deployed. In the city of Cartagena, there's 12. In average, just starting from 6, we are able to start creating this kind of information, and we are able to understand, for example, the affluent of people. That is an example in Canet de Berenguer, or the particle matter, another example in Mechelen, the pollens, in order to understand in real time, and also forecasting what will be the pollen for allergic people, and of course, all the baseline data like air quality and noise. So thanks to this value proposition, we are making more agile the urban design and the climate change mitigation. We are helping cities to make compliance with all the emerging regulation and to guarantee that they can access to all these investment funds, and the most important, avoid any potential penalty. We are accelerating the deployment because based on our previous experience, we have realized that, for example, ERDF funds, usually called EDUSIS in Spain, have suffered a lot of delays just because the lack of clear understanding of the KPIs and impact for every action. We are working a lot in data quality because we strongly believe that if artificial intelligence will make the future, we need to make sure that this artificial intelligence is based on the right data and the right data quality. For that reason, we are working on standards, international standards, like IEEE 2510, that we are leading it in order to provide high reliability and reduce the risk. These have been, as I mentioned, validated in more than 30 cities, where we are including cities like Madrid, monitoring nanoparticles, cities like Cartagena, Seville, Badajoz, Santander, and much, much more cities that are covering all the region of Spain, but also, of course, other regions in Europe. In addition, all is based in a cost-effective way in order to reduce costs, to guarantee that all decisions are the right one and improve the efficiency. So right now we are working in more than 30 cities I mentioned. Across Europe, we are also reference known by monitoring the low emission zone and monitoring the nanoparticles. And of course, we are very open and happy to integrate and collaborate with other potential cities and other organizations that are looking for in order to address the Green Deal and address all the next generation European requirement to make a more reliable and sustainable Europe. The opportunity is huge. We are talking about not only a smart cities market, we are talking about the opportunity of urban design and actionable plan, and this is a huge market where Europe is leading. We started with Spain being the leader in the smart cities area, but we are going much more beyond with all the opportunities like Fireware Foundation, the Open and Agile Smart Cities, and all the action that we are doing from Europe. So the opportunities are huge. We are talking about new service and opportunities not only to understand aspects regarding air quality. Also, we are talking about pollen, urban health, low emission zones for mobility, urban security, and we are addressing a huge opportunity for our European and beyond countries. So we are a strong team behind. We are 27 people, but this is the key people behind. We are 7 key people with PhD background and a strong engineer and market opportunity background. We are coming from different aspects like in engineering and research, coming from industrial engineering, also experts in software, cybersecurity, and of course, finally, in finance and marketing. And thank you so much for everything. Looking forward to know more about you. And if you have any questions, don't decide to contact in our email, phone, and check our website. Thank you so much for the opportunity, and looking forward to hear from you.
Cartagena has a population of nearly 215,000 inhabitants and it's a major naval station located in the Mediterranean coast, southeastern Spain. Cartagena is suffering several issues related to climate change, which are affecting both population and their landscape. Cartagena City Council has initiated an innovative urban planning for the adaptation to climate change. The city is increasing the urban functioning and quality of life, addressing the complexity of these issues, identifying transformative models, and defining adequate plans for urban regeneration. For that purpose, a technological innovation which integrates a data-driven policy making and urban planning for the city green zones regeneration is being used. The solution was developed in cooperation with Hub Ubiquitous, which implements a data-driven socio-environmental model taking into consideration contextual information within the urban environment. The solution allows to collect, analyze, process, and visualize large amount of data related to environmental risks and built on existing private data from utility and transport, open data from social and health, new data collections via sensors over the deployed Metropolitan IoT network, and built on LoRa, including devices from continuous monitoring of air quality, dust, PM, noise, radio emissions, water, and energy, which are being extended with other social and health data. Cartagena has deployed a smart city platform based on self-broker and fireware, promoting effective use of open-source technological resources which integrate datasets from utility such as energy, water consumption, social, transport affluence, and health aspects such as census or statistics. Hopu offers a complete solution for urban planning that makes easier assisting decision-making. These services simplify data available in cities in unique indicators, making it easier for cities to understand their environment and make informed decisions based on evidence. This experience is demonstrating the potential of the knowledge revolution in environmental health, following the World Health Principles from World Health Organization by designing a system to exploit the value of big environmental data for the urban health. Hopu's solutions assist cities to prevent the loss of money and contribute to improving their livability, avoiding penalties for regulatory non-compliance, investing less time to manage grants, and reducing the investment to evolve the territory through evidence-based decisions.
Hello everyone! First of all, we want to thank to Valencia Tech for the great support to the Valencia startup ecosystem. So, I am Verónica Rodríguez, CEO of Green B2E and Green Innovation, and I'm here with my colleague Mariola Guarinos.
Hi everyone!
So, let me introduce who we are. Green B2E is a Spanish company with more than 15 years experience working with renewable energies and innovations. Thanks to all our experience, we realized that we can improve the energy sector and take more advantage on the renewable energy projects with the innovation. And that's how our idea came about. The valorization of the energy surpluses and CO2 emissions mitigated thanks to the installation of renewable energy. But where everything started? With the Green Deal. The European Union decided to make an effort to accomplish these Green Deal goals. The actions were focused the carbon and the electrical market. In the first one, we realized that the big companies were encouraged to reduce its carbon emission, being possible the access to the regulated market. But what happens if an SME or, for example, a families want to reduce its carbon footprints? There isn't a market to do it. In the second market, we realized there was a possibility to exchange energy, but for a lower price and restricted to a certain physical condition, what makes impossible this exchange of energy between users not physically connected.
So in Green Innovation, we mix and solve these problems. We offer a marketplace for SMEs and final users to exchange energy and CO2. And thanks to the blockchain technology, we certificate the authentication of every transaction. But how it works? We install a monitoring system called Green Logger, capable of sending data to the Green Innovation platform, allowing our customers to exchange mitigated CO2 kilograms and energy. We transform every kilowatt hour and kilogram of CO2 mitigated into a digital currency exchangeable. This is how the platform looks like. We have a front page where users can share if they want to buy or sell energy of CO2. And you can also access to the information of your facility every time and everywhere, and access to the historical data of your facility. So this is the amazing team carrying on this exciting project. Veronica has a long experience leading teams and projects, and Miguel Pelejero has 20 years leading teams in big and SME companies. And in my case, I have 3 years experience with renewable energies projects. Last but not least, we work aligned with these sustainable goals. So green you, and let's make the change real.
Thank you for the support of the idea and for your attention. And if you have any question, you can contact us and we will be in touch. Thank you very much and see you soon. Bye.
Thank you. See you.
Hello, my name is Sara Mesas. I'm the strategic planning developer of Valencia Tech City, and I am in charge of moderating this discussion forum, which title is Let's Go Further, Climate Change Solutions. In this roundtable, we have the following participants: Jaume Mata, responsible for tourism sustainability at Visit Valencia; Miguel Tito, director of Pinada Lab; Carlos Rivero, Sustainability and Climate Change Adaptation Consultant in 30 Consulting; and Neus Pitarch, R&D Sustainable Energy Engineer at the Energy Research Center, in addition to representing the Research Center as a core partner in the Climate Kick Assembly. Let's go to the first question. Which characteristics should have a good or correct solution to climate change?
Okay, well, from our point of view, to be effective, the solution must be provoking, must be motivating change of habits. It has to allow people to do things differently, to impact on the source of the climate change.
Okay.
Okay, from our point of view, we think they should be future-facing in the sense that they should support change as years come and as we change our habits and our ways of doing. And I think they should also be open in the sense that they should be hackable and they should support a variety of applications and different stakeholders using and evolving those solutions.
Okay, thank you. Now, Carlos?
Well, in my opinion, there are 3 main characteristics every climate change solution must comply with. Of course, its effectiveness, being scientifically proven before, because cost is a major thing here. So we need to focus on the more effective ones, I mean cost-benefit ratios. Second, being a nature-based solution, using the features of a nature structure. their physical processes, and use them to try to tackle climate change, helping with adaptation or trying to mitigate impacts. And last but not least, be aligned with the rest of the city measures with the global strategy, which I think is crucial. And I think solutions must be into a participated process in which the citizens should be to be involved if it's possible.
Thank you, Carlos. And now, Neus, your turn.
Well, I think it has to address a very clear goal or need, no matter if the area of action is social, technological, environmental, etc. And it has to have into consideration that we live in a systemic world and that everything we do in those areas will affect the others. In technical projects, we used to study those interrelations when we speak about the social impact, for example, but it will be interesting to have that in mind since the idea conception to ensure the success of the solution. And that is, for example, what we are doing the deep demonstration on resilient net zero maritime hubs with the Port of Valencia through EIT ClimateKicks methodology.
Okay, let's go to the second question. Do you know or think of any solution that is having a very good impact? What it is and why?
Well, in Valencia, tourism is an essential part of the city and has a part of the impact. So what we want is to become a carbon neutral destination by 2025. And to do so, we have started with a calculation of the carbon footprint activity. And we have determined in 10 chapters who is causing what size of impact in the footprint. So with this calculation, now we can motivate the reduction. We can address to the different stakeholders that are motivating, doing things in the city to attract and to welcome tourists. So we can estimate how much they have to change, how much they have to reduce. So that's the first step. To do so, we also are implementing a digital platform, which will be a tool for them to register, to follow, and to certify the kind of footprint that they are producing. And it's integrated in the stakeholders chain. So they will certify, they will register their providers, and they will transmit, which is also very important. They will be transparent to the customers, to the tourists, to the intermediaries. So they can demonstrate they are doing things to be more sustainable, which is part of the change of habits that we are trying to motivate, and which is inducing the change of habits that our tourists are looking for in destinations. And the last part will be to compensate this part of footprint that won't be reduced by the stakeholders or by the administration. So that's where the City Hall has a role to play, to create projects that will be compensating the footprint that we are not able to reduce. So creating these carbon sinks, for instance, that will create this effect of generating these carbon credits that we can use to induce more effective airlines or cruise ships, etc. So closing the circle.
Okay, really thank you.
You're
really
welcome.
Interesting. So now your turn, Miguel.
Yeah, I can think of two examples. One is very close to each of us, and we can't claim we are the owners of it, and it's a revolutionary technology called bicycles, bikes. I think bikes are an excellent solution for mobility. They're simple, they're effective, they're efficient. They integrate very well with the existing urban environment to make for peaceful environments. You can have electric bikes which allow the elderly to move around in better conditions. You have cargo bikes, and it connects very well with logistics of goods and with the mobility of people. So I know I'm stating the obvious, but it's we tend to have this approach to solution generation where we rely on very sophisticated technology, and sometimes we can also consider existing tech, which is maybe old-fashioned but still reliable. And this is kind of the specific example. And the more abstract one, which is also work in progress, is what we are doing at La Pinada Lab, which is basically we are, Neus mentioned, operating at a systemic level. We are working with systems and we are trying to integrate solutions. So it's not a matter of just finding the perfect solution that beats them all, but rather trying to integrate best practices and existing solutions and getting them to work together and to look for collective efficiency. So what we're trying to do is to develop an open model that can be replicated elsewhere in different urban environments, cities worldwide, where we do basically that. We integrate the energy generation and management with waste management, with mobility, with construction methods, with water management as well, and all sorts of, also the transversal data management layer to manage all that, and to do this in collaboration. So we are an open innovation hub or center where we try to involve not only corporates and startups, but the public administration, social, civil society, knowledge centers like university departments and technological centers to work together in this direction. So these would be my two examples.
Really nice initiative. Thank you, Miguel. And what about you, Carlos?
Well, we all know that all these strategies oriented to reduce traffic inside big cities are working really, really well and are helping to reduce the emissions of greenhouse gases. And at the same time, is helping to improve the air quality of our cities. But let me go a little bit farther. For example, I think it's really important to focus on cities' biodiversity. Try to use the green infrastructures, gardens, trees, big green areas that are common in our cities, and try to use them as a solution, as a nature-based solution approach. For example, green corridors to improve ecosystem services as pollination, carbon sequestration, that can be a good carbon sink for the pollution of our cities. Try to reduce temperature to fight against the heat island effect. And in the same way, I think technology is one of the biggest and most powerful tools we have to fight against climate change. Satellites, remote sensing images, algorithms, models and simulations, software that can track pollutants and measure their effects almost in real time, and that are able to measure impacts on remote ecosystems and help us to plan restoration plans. I think it's amazing what science and technology can do together to help us to adapt our society to be more resilient. And in 3.0 consultants, we are working hard to try to develop and apply these solutions in and proven tools between all the stakeholders that are important in climate change.
Okay, Carlos, thank you. And now your turn, Neus. What about you?
Yeah, in the same line of what Miguel was saying before, sometimes a good solution is a combination of solutions. And in this field, systemic transformation initiatives are having very good reviews because they are allowing collaboration between all kinds of interesting actors working for a common goal. In the case of the demonstration that I mentioned before, we are working together, experts from technology areas, adaptation to climate change, futures literacy, facilitators, and the ports themselves, Valencia, Piraeus, and the Deputy Ministry of Shipping in Cyprus, to achieve net zero emissions in 2030. And the same is happening at the city level with Madrid, Malmo, or Vienna. And I think that Valencia is following the same path. And they're having very good results. The question of why, I think it is because when the actors are aligned and open to talk, solutions can be implemented faster and they can be bigger in terms of impact.
Okay, and that's all. Thank you very much, everyone, for participating. We hope you all enjoyed the discussion and see you in Valencia.
after all of this, you know the potential of Valencia. You know the great economy that we are developing. Now you know the great startup that we have in the city. After that, we are waiting for you. Welcome to Valencia Tech City.
You, as a creator, a dreamer, an entrepreneur, and who is not afraid to change the world. You, as someone passionate about growth and confidence, and who looks for that job which takes you beyond the limits. You, who heard so many times, that's not possible. And finally, you made it happen. You, a believer in offices with no walls and in shared talent. You, who looks for your great opportunity or supports others in finding it. You, who imagines today how tomorrow will be. You are very welcome. Welcome to Valencia Tech City, city of opportunities.